What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talked about Beyond Meat, I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's been really moving it, and go over some key levels that investors need to be aware of. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Beyond Meat, there hasn't been any news associated to the company today. There was a couple SEC filings, which I will go over in a second. But today, I think the largest thing that's moving Beyond Meat is algorithmic trading, because there's been a lot of articles really talking about Beyond Meat in various kind of aspects. One largely being that it's been named top 3 meme stocks for 2026. So I don't know if that's a positive thing. I know I've mentioned many times in the past that Beyond Meat is kind of a hybrid. So it's sometimes a squeeze play, sometimes a momentum play, and sometimes just a meme stock. Some people, I feel like they don't like to hear the meme status. Rather, they think it's a credible company. But clearly, the people have spoken, whether you want to see that as a positive or not. Top 3, I guess, for 2026 is still a pretty big accomplishment, if you ask me. But this is why it is starting to get move up a little bit. And AI and algorithmic trading is where most of the volume is coming from today, as well as the last couple trading days. And you can see that from the flow right here. And this is why we have seen some very interesting spikes. So this usually correlates with algorithmic trading picking up on some new article. So this is why just Beyond Meat's been having some very interesting price action. Aside from that though, quickly popping over here, haven't really had that much in credible data points today. We did have Chicago PMI, came in at 43.5, forecast of 39. Which is good, but still is not a big market mover. Big one for today is going to be coming out at 1 o'clock, and that's FOMC minutes. So potentially the market might start talking about a January cut once again. Aside from that, like I mentioned, there wasn't really all that much in news associated to Beyond Meat. There was a couple SEC filings that came out after hours yesterday. One was this right here, director selling 492 shares. It wasn't for tax purposes. It was transaction code S, so it was a straight up sell. So 492 shares isn't something to panic over, in my opinion. Aside from that, though, you did have this. So Unprocessed Foods LLC did do some transactions with their warrants and also just buying actual stock. So if you actually think about it, what they did by buying and then selling all of these transactions right here, they kind of netted, if you kind of calculate, subtract these two, add up the overall shares, they made about 12.5 million. And at the end of the day, they pretty much canceled out all their shares. So they just said, thank you very much. 12.5 million, good stuff for me. And so yeah, at the end of the day, this Form 4, it's pretty much they received free money, so nothing really significant if you ask me. Aside from that though, looking at shorts, at the time of doing this video, shorts are returning 170,000 shares. 33.53% of the free float is being shorted, so shorts are really starting to kind of double down and triple down, because short interest on November the 10th, for instance, was 14%. So they've literally doubled in that time frame. So kind of crazy stuff that is happening. Short score is 70.31. So as I've signaled, I think Beyond Meat is kind of a hybrid stock. A lot of people really want it to squeeze, and then you have a lot of people just generally liking the fundamental business. So it's kind of an interesting stock nonetheless. Looking at the options, 228,000 in calls, 290,000 in puts, and then 46% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around $1 to $1.50 in the foreseeable future. And then bears are anticipating for it to kind of do the opposite, for it to break down sub $1 and stay there, and then sub 50 cents by the week ending January the 16th. For those of you that tune into a lot of my videos, I know I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to bring you down. But if you actually look at the true data, it signals what is coming. So even my last video, I think it was on the 26th at the after hours, I signaled that it was going to have a nice reversal. And lo and behold, it had that nice spike yesterday, and it had a nice push higher, went up, what was it, 15 something percent. So this is why, Again, I know I'm not the most hype person, but if you actually look at the data, it does signal good times to get in as well as get out. So if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals, pop over to my stacked account. I actually do have a promotion up until the end of this year, so a couple days left, where it is $1.50 a month, and if you get in, it will never increase. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. But aside from that though, only one transaction occurring so far on the secondary market above $100,000. So again, really signaling that most of the volume is linked to algos. This one transaction is a buy though, and it was for 205,000. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool. You do see a couple hold numbers, so 180,000, 135, most likely. Those are linked to hedge funds rebalancing, because we also do have a couple days left in Q4, so we'll be seeing more of those types of transactions. The rest most likely are linked to shorts, regrettably. Right now with it at 88 and change, it is right on this S1, so it needs to get above that 88.8 level, and if so, then you could potentially see a nice technical recovery. So that again is going to be something to watch for. 98 cents will be the following target / resistance, and then flip side, if this does fail to hold, then you'll have 83 cents. So all in all, I do feel higher highs might be coming for Beyond Meat, even though I'm not the biggest fan of their kind of operations. Stocks can move based on technicals. So that's why, again, if you read the data, it's not that difficult. But aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart, it is below that 10-day moving average. So if you're going to be seeing some very nice price action, it needs to get above that dollar level. And so that is sitting exactly there. Because if it does, then you could see a nice push to that $1.35 very quick. Aside from that, stochastic RSI very oversold. So good piece of news associated to the company. Then you could see a nice push higher. Aside from all of that though, market position, you see a little bit more willing buyers. Nothing significant if you ask me. So I think just institutions are waiting for some good actual updates from the company itself. But nonetheless, I think some good articles are coming out, especially, like I said, top 3 for 2026 meme stocks. Honestly, it is what it is. I think that's a pretty good thing overall. So let me know your thoughts on Beyond Meat. Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? What are you generally doing with Beyond Meat? One final thing, like I said, pop over to my stacked account or Patreon, same thing, and take advantage of that promo up until the end of the year. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.